Okay, so one thing you got to know about me, I cannot stand the Detroit Lions. I get fired up for these Lions games every single year. I'm sure you guys have that. So leave your comments. Let me know which team do you get the most fired up about. I think a lot of Packer fans, for you guys, it's the Bears. But for me, we've dominated. We've owned the Bears for so long. And if you take a look at over the last 10 years, the Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, our records are so similar. I think the Packers have like two more wins over the last 10 years. And I know a lot of those games are skewed because we were playing the Lions sometimes the last game of the season, which meant that we were sitting our starters going into the playoffs where the Lions were, that was their playoff game was against the Packers. So I just can't stand this team. Okay, so things are starting to heat up between the two teams. There's a Detroit Lion that said something that it just fires me up. I'm sure it's going to fire some of the players up. What is it? I'm going to break that down for you guys in this video. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a second to do so. Okay, so let's jump into it. We're talking about Muhammad. You might be saying, who are you even talking about? Who is this dude? Well, to all the injuries that the Lions have sustained on their D line, they go out and they sign a guy that's been on, I believe he was on the Dallas Cowboys practice squad, and then they cut him. They let him go. He was drafted in 2017 by the Saints before the following year moving on to the Colts. He was with the Colts from 2018 to 2021. And then he was with the Bears in 2022. I already hate this dude because he was with the Bears. Now he's with the Lions. So he's been within our division and probably has, like, he knows how good the Packers have been. So he's just wanting to go out and say some stuff. So, and then then he was with the Cowboys before joining the Lions. So that's what the history is on this dude. Okay. So what did he say? Okay. So supposedly he had a successful game this last week against the Tennessee Titans. Yes, you've heard me right, against the Tennessee Titans. Okay, so he's getting all fired up because he had a good performance in that game. In fact, if you were to look on the box score, you don't see him come up because I don't think he had any tackles, but he had 6 pressures. Okay, so this dude's building on some confidence and some momentum, but he's talking about he's like, man, you think that's something? I was just knocking off the rust. This week, you guys are going to see some great things from me. And that's not all bad, right? Just to be like, hey, you know what? You're going to see some great things to me. It's going to get, but he's especially talking about the Packers. He said, watch what I do. He goes on to say in this article, watch what I do against the Green Bay Packers. Okay. So I think it's hilarious. I think it's humorous, but at the same time, it just fires me up because I'm just like, dude, I cannot stand this Detroit Lions team. Okay. So for me, it fires me up because I'm just like, okay, if I'm on the Packers front line, I'm going to be looking for this dude. I'm going to make sure he's not getting through. Okay, so what do you know? Obviously, we've got some injuries on our offensive line to Josh Myers. So Josh Myers is out. Now, I don't think that's all bad for the Green Bay Packers. I think this front may be better without him in there. Because obviously, Jenkins then slides over to center and Morgan slides over to left guard and fills his slot. So I think the Green Bay Packers front is actually going to be better for this Lions game. I'm not sure what you guys think. Leave your comments on that as well. So obviously, Jordan Love is expected to start against the Lions. It says right here in this article, the Packers quarterback Jordan Love should be under center tomorrow against the Lions. Although Love is officially listed as questionable with a groin injury, a league source tells PFT the expectation has been all week for him to go out there and play against the Detroit Lions. Why is that? And here's the thing. Some of you might be saying, man, I just really don't want Jordan Love to rush things. I don't want the Packers to rush things. They got a bye week coming up, and then we play the Bears right after that. So let's just get ready for that. And then I think we got the San Francisco 49ers right after the Bears game. So let's just get everyone healthy. But here's the thing. I love Jordan Love's just desire to go out there and play. He sees this as a rival game within the division. He's probably just as fired up about this game as I am, and he's not a fool. He's aware of the standings. This is an important game for the Packers. Okay, yes, this is only 8 games into the season. The Packers have a bye week coming up. But this is an important game. Look at the standings right there. You got the Lions 6-1. You got the Packers 6-2. The Lions 5-2. If the Packers lose this one, they drop to 6-3, and that's going to matter as the year goes on because, again, this is the best division in football. The Minnesota Vikings, they've got a relatively easier schedule as the season progresses and goes on. The Bears, they have a gauntlet the last 8 games. I'm not concerned about the Bears whatsoever, and it seems like I'm talking to a couple of Bears fans, that things seem to be kind of unraveling within that. They have a couple, they had that loss against the Commanders and losing in that fashion. I'm not concerned about the Bears, but the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. This is going to be a fight to the finish. And the Green Bay Packers need to get as many divisional wins as possible. They don't want to start at 0-2. We already have a loss to the Minnesota Vikings. We don't want to go 0-2 so far within the division. It's going to matter come playoff time, come wild card time, all of that stuff, winning the division. But I love it. I think this is great locker room material for the Green Bay Packers. Leave your comments about this, and as always, go Pack Go.